Hi everyone, it's me. And if you like my channel, please like and subscribe. There's a notifications bell over in the corner, and you can get notified as to when I'm going live. And if you are wondering why I am surrounded by flowers, it's because there's a wedding on Saturday. And we have been furiously trying to get everything put together, and I just wanted to talk about how it really does take a village. Um, I think that, when we think about events such as weddings, we think about, oh, a wedding planner and, you know, floral and all these things, but not every person can afford that level. And the coolest thing is when everyone comes together to put forth their strengths and have it benefit the whole. And her mom, Sheila, makes these beautiful bouquets. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go on a spoiler alert here. And that bouquet right there is Shira's. Yay! And then, of course, we've got the boutonnieres and all of that stuff over there. And she has spent forever, like all day today, and I know she spent a lot of time after that. Hi, Bill. Um, so then we've got, family friends that are cooking the food. And then we show up to the hall, and everyone showed up to decorate and get things together and put things up and lend again their skills sets, their tools, their time, and their love. And to see all of that come together, and for someone who is just such a very important and special person, is beautiful, because it does take a village. All of us played our part to make this day come off and be as wonderful as it's going to be. Um, you know, I just get reminded every it is gorgeous, isn't it, Megan? It is beautiful. Yeah, that one is just, they're all really beautiful, but yeah, Shira's is gorgeous, and she cried when you
Yes, she did. She cried.
Sheila said she cried when she saw it. So I don't know what better review you can get than the bride breaking down into happy tears, but that's a good one.
Yes. Because there's been a few unhappy tears throughout this process.
Yes, we know. And that's I for a long time, actually before I was homeless, I felt very isolated and very alone. And it was because I didn't realize that my village was not hearing from me. And when I come back, and after, because I've built a support system and friends and family in Seattle as well, but being here back around family is beautiful. And I realize the things I've learned from the people here and interactions that I've had, and how they interact with each other, whether that be disagreements, whether that be joy, love, sadness, they share it together. And they come together, and it's just this really, really beautiful thing. Thank you, Megan. I appreciate you being part of my village a lot. But that was my whole point, is it really does take a village. And then, as Sheila was going to buy food, she did what I advise everybody to do, and that is
Ask what is needed.
ask what is needed. Don't just read this out. Take a moment. Take a moment to say, "Hey, what do you really need?" You know, and you know what? Sometimes it is money, and they will tell you. And like this man, what did he say?
I need dog food and water for my dog.
I need dog food and water for my dog. And so she went immediately and got, and she was calling me, telling me this while, like, it's so wonderful how the world works. And let me tell you why. Is because before this had happened, I found out that my son was put in the hospital with seizures due to the withdrawal process. Um, I was just waiting all day for word. And it just felt horrible. It felt like this weight was on me. It felt like scary,
Overwhelming.
overwhelming. And then I get a call from Sheila saying, "Hey, I ran into this guy and it works. I asked what he needed and he told me." And she went and fulfilled those needs. And
I also bought him a few sandwiches and I gave him $20.
okay, I don't know if you heard that, but she gave him some sandwiches and gave him $20.
And when I got back to give him the dog food and the water and the things that I had purchased for him, the very first thing he did was set aside his food and feed and water his dog. He generally, seriously, genuinely needed food and water for his dog.
Okay, so what she's saying, if you didn't hear, is that the first thing this man did after she gave him these things, sandwiches, his sandwiches, money, dog food, and water, the first thing he did was feed and water his animal.
Yep.
And that was all he was asking for on the sign. But it's so important. And this is something else we were talking about it earlier. And I said, but one thing that I always, always, always want to impress upon people, if you do not have anything to give, say you just don't have funds, you don't have supplies, you just don't, you do have something, knowledge. Gain knowledge about the programs that are out there. So, for example, if you see someone in Seattle holding a sign that says, "Need food and water for my animal," if you can't fulfill that request, you could definitely refer them immediately to Seattle Dogs Homeless Program, and they will have food and water for their pet due to amazing donors and the time and love that Laura puts into that program and all the animals. So, knowing what's in our areas, understanding the resources, and understanding the resources so much that we don't send people to places that are not fit. Don't send a male homeless individual to a women family shelter, and if they're single, that they're going to just hit a door and a barrier and it's going to be horrible. you know there are, don't send a woman and family to a low barrier, ultimate recovery center. The child has to be kept away from that. So I mean, there are
The ability when
having
I
trouble
would-
with words, so Sheila's going to help because we do this and it works out great. She just doesn't want to be on camera,
because
and I don't mind. Even with that little bite right there and that right there. See, the mosquitoes are just,
they're gonna pick us up and carry us away pretty
it's
soon.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
But the just from the time that you've been back to Wisconsin to visit, I have learned two very, very important things about the unhoused and people in need. And that is, one, always ask what they need.
Always ask what they need.
Otherwise, you're giving them things that may be going to waste. And not only are you wasting, they're wasting. And not that they want to, but I can't give them a package of hamburger and expect them to cook it on the sidewalk.
Exactly.
And the other thing is that if I don't have or the ability to get for them, I do have the knowledge and information to send them in the right direction or to contact people that can come and help them.
Right, and Sheila is really good at that because she is well versed on the resources that are available in the area, the qualifications of such, like what the guidelines are, where these resources are, and who they help. So she has a wealth of knowledge that she's built over her time here in her village.
In my village.
Well,
yes.
many villages.
Yes.
She has
And
a lot of
villagers.
kids. And how many grandbabies do you have?
I am up to 14.
She has 14 grandchildren. May I say her village is large?
And getting larger. My daughter will marry in 2 days.
Absolutely.
Somebody help me.
Right. The mosquitoes like my sweetness. That may be. It's either that. I'm telling you though, they are
They
getting
must love the hell out of me.
right. They are going to become Starbucks mosquitoes because they're just like, whoa, what is this? And I'm like, yeah, it's coffee. I don't.
Starbucks enhanced.
Right. My Megan, my high blood sugar.
Right?
I actually do not have high blood sugar, so
Yet,
there's
the way
that.
she eats sweets, you just don't know.
Okay, they're yummy. That's why. It's because they're yummy, and I do like them a lot.
And please tell Megan I said thank you very much for the compliment of the flowers.
Megan, I don't see. I'm not sure what you guys can hear and what you can't. I'm assuming that if you couldn't hear anything, you'd comment. But Megan, Sheila wanted to thank you very much for the compliment you paid her on the flowers. She has worked extremely hard on this, and I am so on to telling her how to start an Etsy so that she can get up and running with this because I am like seriously impressed. Megan says, seriously, you have talent, Sheila. They look amazing.
Thank you. And tell her this is the first time I've done this.
She says this is the first time she's done this. So she's definitely looking forward to doing them some more.
Yes.
Iced lemon loaf addiction. Oh, I do like their iced lemon loaf so much too. Like, let's not get into all the yummy stuff Starbucks has because we could.
Oh, she hasn't made it to Starbucks today. She might have withdrawal.
I could really just extol the virtues of really any cool coffee shop, but Starbucks kind of has my heart. And it's really because, seriously, that's where we went to warm up. And we were treated with kindness. We were treated with respect. Um, I didn't, I didn't feel humiliated. And I didn't feel shamed. I felt
Welcome.
welcome. Now, I did have to buy that cup of coffee, or I'm sure I probably wouldn't have been as welcome. But I do know people that came in there and just warmed up who didn't have the money for coffee. But for me, I always tried to go in and have coffee or whatever, but they were kind. They were so kind. And we would have, like, me and Gypsy, we'd have Rowan and Izzy and Loki with us. So there's 3 dogs and us, and we just kind of tuck away in a corner. And I know that it really doesn't have to do, like when you're looking at corporate entities, it doesn't have to do with the corporation necessarily. It has to do a lot with the people. But I have to say, if they continuously hire people who are compassionate and empathetic and human beings, then that does say something. And I think that's really important to look at. Do I scan everything for every wrongdoing or anything like that? No. There's pretty much, at some point, I like my coffee.
There's wrong everywhere, but sometimes you just gotta still get your cup of coffee.
Okay, we're just gonna call that the truth and move on. So anyhow, tomorrow is go day. Okay, I guess the wedding would technically be go day. But tomorrow is when the food gets cooked. What else?
The finalization
Yeah.
gets done at the hall. Rehearsal dinner. Getting the bride into the hotel room so that she's away from everybody.
Right, and I get to go spend the night with her tomorrow.
Yes.
So we're gonna have some girl time, and then Saturday morning, I am going to be shutting off all my devices and turning on that camera.
Yes.
And I will not be answering anything that day, unless it's an emergency, of course. But I'm very excited. I am so excited. And I will be having another photographer join me and kind of shadow and learn a little bit.
She's very excited to be taught by you, to learn some things. She admires you greatly.
Which is honestly, when people say that to me, there's a warm glow. It is to know that someone has has you a person in high esteem and admires, you know, the thing is I'm like, well, hopefully I live up to that. Cuz I know me. But I also know that it just feels so amazing because I know that there are ripple effects. And by being a person that is worthy of at some point doing something admirable or at some point doing something inspiring, it causes that chain event and in a positive way. Um, so I'm very like honored to have somebody want to learn from me. And I'm just honored to have all of this take place and to be a part of it. And to know I have family from back 20 years ago, you
Yes,
know?
and don't get this wrong,
Thank you,
Amanda.
Megan.
Amanda, don't get this wrong. You say that you're privileged and honored to be here.
Hmm.
We are privileged and honored to have you here to be the photographer for her wedding.
Thank you.
It was the one thing that she asked me for. And
She got it.
I
She
know.
got me. Mm,
And like and Amanda was so wonderful. She told my daughter, she says, if I have to put my thumb up all the way to Wisconsin, I'm coming.
I did say that, and I meant every word of it. If I would have had to go and get on like Friends Across America, Rideshare, or Hitch Out, I would have done it.
Yeah.
You know, that's okay. Is it safe? No. Should I do it? No.
No.
But if that's the only way to get somewhere, well, guess who's going somewhere? Just saying. But luckily, I was able to afford a train ticket and came out here in comfort. So that was very nice. Is there any questions? Does anybody have any questions about my time here in Wisconsin, or just questions you have of me? Questions you have for Sheila?
Ooh, ask Amanda what she made for supper tonight. Oh my goodness. I didn't even know I liked cabbage.
Okay, so I have this recipe. Sheila's asking what I cook for supper, and I have this recipe that I used to make at camp because cabbage is so good for you. Um, Megan, she said that she didn't even know she liked cabbage, so she wanted me, when I asked if anybody had questions, she said, yes, ask what I made for supper. So I'm going to tell you because she wanted me to tell you. And what I made was cabbage carbonara. And it's I didn't make it with like onions and peppers and go all into it like I did at camp because, trying to shove vegetables down street kids' mouths, you have to make it yummy. I'm telling you, make it yummy. And you could throw all the vegetables in there, just dice them up, chop, whatever. So what you do really is it's just like bacon. You get your bacon crispy, get crumbled, get it on top of some egg noodles. Fry your cabbage up with some onion, garlic, all that. Anything you like, seasonings. Gypsy loves it. By the way, Megan, Gypsy absolutely loves it. If I make this it is so good. And so then, and the last time you would just make like a carbonara sauce, with the Parmesan and, your cream. And I use heavy whipping cream. And then I take, a little bit more bacon and I get it crispy. And then I kind of render it down. And then, put the cream and everything in and then the Parmesan and get it into like a thick sauce. And then, well, I guess I wouldn't say thick sauce. It's like right on the edge of thick. And then I pour it over the noodles and the cabbage that are already in the bowl and the bacon. And it's just really yummy. It is.
Cheesy.
And cheesy.
Cheesy.
Yeah, it's cheesy and
We
yummy.
are in Wisconsin.
Yeah, there is some good cheese. And I've taken, like, I'm so happy to, like, on Instagram, I'm really following. Sounds like something my Polish grandma would make, noodles and cabbage. Yeah, well, then she was on to something. And high five. Because it is amazing. It is really good.
It's very good.
And it is really good for you. Absent the bacon and the fats and stuff. But oh well, it's really yummy. And we added vegetables, so healthy. and cheese.
And cheese.
And all the cheese. All
Well,
the
and-
cheeses.
Yeah,
No,
well, you know,
just
we've-
Parmesan. I'm just kidding.
You know, Shira has family still headed out here from Oregon
Uh-huh.
that will be here about 2 a.m.
Uh-huh.
And they just messaged and asked where they can get cheese curds.
Yep, everybody. Yep, Shira's got 2 more people coming, and they messaged. They'll be here at like 3, and they messaged where to get cheese curds as soon as they got here. Cheese is a big deal here in Wisconsin. if anybody hadn't guessed that yet. So anyway, again, are there any questions? If not, I'm gonna get off of here because it's been a pretty long day, and I have to get some sleep myself and be peppy tomorrow because we are gonna kick it into high gear tomorrow and get everything ready for Saturday, which is the big day.
The big day.
Yep. And as it goes, update on my son is that we are now dealing with some authorities and making a little headway on that. So
Everything that Amanda predicted was going to occur and evolve with the situation with her child is evolving exactly as she predicted it was going to.
well, and that's because when it's not really like a prediction necessarily, but it's knowing what those cycles are
Yes.
and knowing what they entail and knowing that really in any circumstance the words may be different, the actions may be a little different, but in the end it's the same story
Yes.
over and over and over. And in that destruction of life there is a sequence to it. And
Yes.
so and I what you want to do is you want to try to interrupt that as fast as possible, but if not able, then do what's necessary to protect them and or any innocent parties. So anyhow, I'm gonna say goodbye, and I'm gonna wish you all a great evening.
Thanks for having me again.
Yes, you're welcome. And I also just want to thank all of you for your donations, your help, your assistance. You're amazing. And those messages just keep me uplifted, and it's just nice. It's nice. Thank you. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.